Hello, everybody. Jason Duck Barber back here with another episode of Farming Blind with Duck. Sorry, everybody. It's been a good while since I posted anything, but been really busy here on the farm getting things wrapped up for our hay season. As I've said in previous videos, I've always tried to do things on the farm as independent as possible, where I try to do everything I can by myself and accomplish each and every task in a safe manner, even though a lot of times it'll take me longer than a well-sighted person. And yes, even at times I have to ask for help from friends and neighbors or whoever I can gather. But again, I try to do everything as independently as I can. Of course, if you've seen in other videos, I've used a lot of different assistive technologies to do what I need. But one of the primary issues that I have on the farm operating my farm equipment, which yes, I can basically do anything I want to do on the farm with my tractors, mainly because I've been on this farm all my life, so I know about every inch of it and such as that. But one of my main issues is using different types of implements and attachments for my tractor. One of the issues with being visually impaired is my depth perception. With depth perception, a lot of times it's hard to judge where you're hooking up to attachments and going into barns and loading hay and such as that. I'm hoping at some point to eventually work up to getting me a skid loader. One of the primary points of it is with a tractor like you see behind me, when you're sitting in the operator's position, the loader is actually about 10 or 15 feet out in front of you. So with that said, for a well-sighted person, that's usually not an issue because you can tell what you're hooking up to relatively easy. For me, depth perception is key. So it may take me sometimes 2 or 3 tries, or sometimes 7 or 8 or maybe even 10 tries to hook up to something so simple as just a regular implement. I want to take this opportunity to kind of give you a real live view of what it takes for me to hook up to something and use it while at the same time trying to do it in as safe a manner possible. Of course, being visually impaired, a lot of times I have to physically get off the tractor multiple times to line up something to get it hooked up, or when I'm putting hay in my hay rings, a lot of times being so far away from the loader, I have to get off and walk up to the ring and judge my distance, then back on the tractor. And a lot of times, especially during the winter when it's muddy and rough ground, that's a tripping hazard as far as falling or anything like that. So I'm trying to prevent injuries the best I can. So I'm fixing to give you more of an idea and maybe hopefully let you visualize how I can do what I do in the safest way possible, but at the same time trying to do it as efficiently as I can. Just to give you an example of what it is about hooking up to my attachments, I've got a multitude of different attachments that I can put on the front of my tractor. But for this experiment, which they all operate basically the same way as far as the hookups and the time and the way I do it. Here you see my front end loader. Of course, I don't have anything on it now. And what I want to do is this set of pallet forks right here, which I use that sometimes to put my hay in my rings or typically or just use it on a pallet. So to give you an idea, I'm going to show you how difficult it can be. Again, sometimes it can be really easy and I can hook right up. Then other times, sometimes it can take me 15 or even 30 minutes to just do a simple task as hooking up to my pallet forks. So hang on just a second, we'll give you a good idea. As you can see, I'm sitting in the operator's position of my tractor. If you'll look over my shoulder, you got the front end loader, and then well in front of it is my pallet forks that I was going to hook up with. Now for me, once I lower my loader down to get in position, I really cannot even see the loader in another position. Even if I look to the left or the right, for me and my depth perception, I simply don't have no clue where exactly I got to be. So I try to get a reference point to line up to, and then I'll move into it. Okay, As you can see, just a simple task how much it took me to get that thing put on the tractor. For somebody who's well sighted, you could probably run up in there in just a few moments, have it lined up. But for me, it took me several attempts, then have to pull and line up, and that's a heavy, or should I say, not as heavy of attachment as some of them are. Some things I can't even move on my own, so it takes me even that much longer. So once I get this finished hooked up, I'll show you how I operate. Just a simple thing is hooking up, getting to a pallet and putting on my fork.